Testing. Welcome everyone to the Paradise Recreation and Park District Board of Directors meeting, actual special meeting on Monday, November the 24th, 2025. Will you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you everyone for joining me with the pledge. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Director Jolene Levy will be attending remotely, so that leaves Director Steve Rodwick.
Here.
Director Robert Anderson is absent. Secretary John Stonebreaker.
Present.
And Chairperson Alma Green.
So, Madam Clerk, we have a quorum and we can officially proceed. Is that correct? Okay, at this point in time, I want to welcome all our guests this morning. Thank you for coming out at this untimely time of the day, but we do appreciate your attendance. Next item on the agenda is public comment. This is an item that's required by state law in the state of California. Anybody who wishes to speak to this board on a non-agenda item, this is your opportunity to do so. Does anybody have anything they want to share with the board? Please come present.
Just adjust this. We on? Okay. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Board and staff. I have come before you guys all here as a representative of Magalia Community Park and Community Center in the past. It's been a while, but something came up last month that caused me to want to come before you again today to give public comment and also form it in the way of an invitation as well, too. I attended a board meeting for the Paradise Irrigation District last month, and Director Asif, Dan, was there and gave a pretty thorough, comprehensive review of Paradise Recreation and Park District's updates and everything, and felt that it was very positive for the district, very thorough. But there was also one item that came up in that presentation about Lake Ridge Park, which was, of course, very interesting to me because I'm on the Upper Ridge. And one of those items was that there was a desire, and I'm pardon for paraphrasing, for more classes and programs to be offered in Magalia. Thought that was of note and interesting because of that, and extended a little bit more in the conversation in the presentation, that there was a need for a building to be constructed for these classes and programs. We have a rec building in Magalia now. It's Magalia Community Center. We opened it 5.5 years ago for the express purpose of bringing in outside services such as yours to the community center to offer programs and classes. And so I'm extending an invitation now to staff and to board to encourage staff to bring more classes and programs to Magalia if that is in realm of possibility for staff to provide that now, and if it's within the budget to do so. Our building right now is 80% empty at the moment. We are reaching out to the county and to others to bring in more programs to meet unmet needs in Magalia. I did hear at a previous board meeting last month here that several people expressed a desire for more things for youth and families. Not just in Paradise, but in Magalia and other communities. But it really is needed on the Upper Ridge. We've got hundreds of families with kids that would love to just do things in their own backyards, as opposed to just having to come down to Paradise. They enjoy everything that the amenities that you provide here. But to do it in Magalia would be awesome. It's just, right in their backyard. This is not to dismiss the yoga class that PRPD currently provides in Magalia at our place. We appreciate that. Gene is a great instructor, but it's one class, 1 hour a week. We can do a lot more than that, I think, for the community. And also not to dismiss the neighbor-to-neighbor programs that we've worked with you and collaborated with you on for the last couple of years. And with that funding winding down in December, little concern from ours is that we want to make sure that those programs continue forward, because we really enjoy working with you on that, and the community gets a lot out of that. So we do want to make sure that continues in the future. So again, with the building being as available as it is, and not a lot of programs or program providers knocking on our doors saying we need space, I think that Magalia Community Parks mission, and we all understand this, we match up with yours very well. I think there's room here for collaboration. So I'm ready to have that conversation anytime with anybody that wants to help make this happen. And maybe we think out of the box and come up with what those needs are in Magalia, recreation-wise, health and wellness. Happy to have the conversation. So any questions you guys have for me this morning, I'm here. Oh, thank you.
Does the board have any questions of this presentation? Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Is there anyone else who wishes to express some public comments for the board on a non-agenda item?
Mr. Chair, I was just going to let members know that Jolene Levy entered the room a few minutes ago. So she's been listening to the meeting essentially from the start.
Thank you, appreciate that. There is anybody else? Apparently not. Okay, so we're going to move on to item 3, consent agenda, of which we have 4 items on consent. Board minutes of past board meetings, 1 regular and 1 special. The monthly check register for payment of bills and disbursements, safety committee meeting in October, and a sub-grantee agreement through the neighbor to neighbor program relative to paint parties by dawn. Do any board members or staff wish any of the consent agenda items removed from consent agenda and addressed individually? Judging by the silence, apparently not. So what is the pleasure of the board and the consent agenda?
Mr. Chair, I motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll go ahead and second, Jolene.
Okay. We have a motion that's been made and seconded. Is there any call for question from any board members before we proceed on the vote? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Director Jolene Levy? You just say aye.
Aye.
Director Steve Rodwick?
Aye.
Secretary John Stonebreaker? And Chairperson Alma Green? Motion carries with 4 ayes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to the next item on today's agenda, new business. Draft audit for fiscal year 2022-2023. We'll ask for a brief presentation from staff before the board proceeds on this item. That?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we have a few time-sensitive items on today. One is our audit. That report starts on page 14, and the audit continues from there. Time-sensitive for us because we want to make sure, even though this is the fiscal year 22-23 audit, we want to get going on the next one. So this will help expedite that while the auditor is in kind of that mode of reviewing our materials. Between the previous time that we had and the previous board packet and now, it has been finalized with minor corrections, and Catherine can discuss that. This has been reviewed at the Finance Committee. Catherine, you want to add anything?
One of the only correction I had was that the auditors had our current list of board of directors, and I informed them that they needed to put the list of directors that was for that time period. So I gave them the information, they corrected it and sent back the draft we have now. The final report we have now.
At committee, we did have a few questions from Mr. Stonebreaker that we provided some materials this morning via email and printed out for him. We recommend board acceptance of the draft audit for fiscal year 22-23. Happy to answer any questions.
I have a couple of questions, if I may. Did the Finance Committee recommend that the board adopt this final audit report?
Yes, we concurred that it should go to the full board for acceptance.
But that's not quite how I recall it, but I'd have to go back and verify, but we did recommend having it come to the full board. I did say that I had a couple questions which have not entirely been answered. Pardon me while I gather my notes.
Well, while you're gathering your notes, I've got a couple more questions.
Yes, sir.
Fine, thank you. First and foremost, I'm curious, according to the staff report that came to the board with this audit, the firm under hire to us started on this audit in August of 2024. And I'm just curious, when did the firm finally present the draft of the audit report to staff? Did you receive that in late October of this calendar year?
Yes.
More than a year later? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Mhm.
I have to express my frustration with this. I just do not understand, nor do I, and I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but I think this is ridiculous for a firm to take that long on a fiscal year that is that dated so far back. We're falling further and further behind, quite frankly. Maybe my observation is not correct, but I don't understand that. Maybe the staff has some insight on this and they can share.
Yeah, I can mention one thing. I think for one thing that we started with a backlog, so it's not entirely on the firm's fault. There was, I think, the first round of working with the auditor as per, I think many times when we've done this, the first round, they have a little bit different take. They have different information requirements, and I think we struggled to provide that information at the beginning. If you look at this report now, there aren't any significant findings that they found, which I think is a testament to our systems and kind of cleaning that up. So I think that what we hope to have is once this is approved, that they are prepared to hit the next one very quickly. And Catherine, maybe you could speak to that timeline.
I have already contacted the auditors and I said that we would like to start the next one as soon as possible. And they did send me a new list that they're going to require for the next audit. So they've already sent me the information that they're looking for in the preliminary round. These auditors like to send out batches of requests and they go through each batch. And then when they find something that they need more information on, they'll contact me and I will get them the information. And I think that's part of the why it takes so long is because not only are they going through the information in batches, I'm also a little delayed in getting them the information on time because I've got other things going. So it is partially my fault because I haven't been able to be like instantly give them the information that they're looking for.
Well, that answers my question to some degree. My curiosity is this is not the first time around for this firm. This is the second product, is it not?
Mhm.
Yes.
I believe that this is the first with this contractor.
No,
No.
No?
it is our second one.
Okay.
It is the second. So
Yeah.
this reinforces my frustration, as you explained, Dan, and eloquently so. The first go around, I can understand. It's all a new learning process, a different firm with staff, so on and so forth. This is the second time around, and I'm seeing more than a year's effort on this. I understand they do it in batches, and that's pretty common. But they're under contract with us for multiple years, are they not? How many more years
Correct.
are they with us?
Our contract ends December 31st, 2026.
Okay, let me ask you this question. This is just us talking. Are we far afield if this board says we'd like to see them expedite this process now that they have internal understanding of our budget process and with staff, that type of thing? Despite the fact we may adopt it today. I mean, I'm looking forward to trying to get closer to reality on behalf of this district.
Yeah, I definitely hear that comment. And so what we had planned on doing anyway is to see if we can pin them down on a timeline for the next one. And I think Catherine's had some conversations on that. I think this next round should go a lot quicker than the last one. And we'll certainly make sure that we can make that clear to them that for our district and then public and then our board as well, that we want to very much expedite it. We'll make that quite clear.
Thank you, staff. John, are you ready to share your comments?
I would follow up on that, yes, we would certainly like to see these audits completed in a more timely manner. The Finance Committee was advised that staff was hoping that the next fiscal year 23-24 audit would go much quicker and that they might even be ready to start on the 25-26 audit relatively close to the closing of the 25-26 fiscal year. It would be lovely if we could get 2 additional audits completed in the next 7 or 8 months, but I find that somewhat unlikely given the current performance. And with regards to some of my questions, other than the blunder regarding the roster of directors, I still question the number of $486,000 for acquisition of land under capital not depreciated. So the response that I have in front of me that gives somewhat illogical appraisals for the 3 properties, the 40 Oaks property, the Feather River Place property, and the Jordan Hill property, were all assigned to the fiscal year 22-23, but the recordation of the deed from Repenich to PRPD occurred on December 23 of 2021 in the previous fiscal year. So it perplexes me that the auditor and staff both assigned this to the fiscal year 22-23 rather than 21-22. Can anyone clarify that? I should also ask, with the rescheduling of this meeting, had the auditor agreed to be present 12 days ago and was not available at this time? Because, for example, we often had Holly Pladson available remotely, if not in the room.
No, the auditor was not available for either meetings. And as far as the reasoning for it being in this fiscal year or the audited fiscal year and not the previous one, I was under the assumption that we had not fully gained the property, like acquired, like everything was finalized until into that fiscal year 22-23.
Okay.
And the auditor did not make any suggestions of posting it into the previous year when they looked at all the paperwork regarding it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that commentary and that response, staff. Do other board members have any further questions on this agenda item?
Not so much a question, but a comment. I just would, just regarding the timing, and the turnaround of the audit, the actual audit itself. I just want to know, we've come a long way since years past when there was multiple findings and multiple areas of concern, and now it's clean completely. So kudos to that.
Thank you.
Board Director Levy, do you have any comments or questions on this agenda item?
No comments, no questions.
Okay. Before I open it to the public and ask for input, just another query with staff. Would staff be okay if, as part and parcel of the board's action, if we approve the audit, which I agree, the observation of Director Roderick, it's a clean audit, that we should be proud of our staff and our district finances. And I know, Dan, you appreciate, you plan to let the firm know that we really like to see them more timely in their future products. Can our message also include, we'd like to see their presence at the next time they present a product for our consideration at board level?
Yeah, and what I would suggest too, I mean, what we've done typically in the past too is had that presence at the finance committee, because that's the appropriate venue for detailed questions, and they
Very
can
good.
pull up
Yeah.
materials a lot more easily than they can stand from the podium up here. So I would suggest if that's the case, that we'll have them at when the next draft is in for questions, make them available, which may require us scheduling the meeting at a different time. So
That's
based on their
probably- yeah.
availability.
Okay, that's probably true. So I'm going to ask for concurrence from the board, authorize staff to make that part and parcel of the message to the
I would concur.
consultant.
Yes,
firm.
concur with that direction.
Jolene? Do you concur?
I concur.
Thank you. Okay, at this point in time, we'll open this agenda item to the public. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this agenda item in the audience today? Apparently not, so we'll bring it back to the board. What's the pleasure of the board? We have a product that we could consider approving today.
I believe we are accepting rather than approving.
You're absolutely right.
Thank you. So I am willing to move that the board accept rather than approve the final fiscal year 22-23 audit report.
Thank you. We have a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion that's been made and seconded. Any question on the motion before we call for a vote? Hearing no question, Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Director Jolene Levy,
Aye.
Director Steve Rodwick,
Aye.
Secretary John Stonebreaker, and Chairperson Alma Green.
Aye.
Motion carries with 4 ayes.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move on. Old business item 5.1, employee benefits changes. Staff, can you give us a brief presentation to augment your staff report, please?
Yeah, so in your packet, and this starts on page 68, is a really pretty detailed staff report covering the items here, and then kind of a little background on the whole wage and salary and kind of like how we got here. So there are a couple of, I think, good bits of information here for us. But just to summarize the action today, is we are recommending that the board consider actions to implement a flat $300 a month medical allocation for eligible full-time employees that are not on district insurance. We already have made actions on the insurance itself. And that would also include establishing a $1,500 annual health reimbursement account for employees, full-time employees, and also current retirees. We do have a sunset clause on that would go until 2027. And that idea is just to have the retirees be made more whole perhaps on their shift towards the new insurance. We also are working with the broker to have some information provided for them so they can have kind of a robust approach to their healthcare needs. Because of the complexity of these actions, we do have a resolution that's been prepared to kind of capture those instead of a more involved motion. So we'll recommend that attention be diverted to the resolution for adoption there. Sarah spent a lot of time and has a pretty good understanding of the requirements here, so we can answer any questions on the insurance or the nature of the resolution. But we recommend the adoption of resolution 2511-1554.
Quick question to staff. I didn't hear you say it verbally, but just for the record, did both the Finance Committee and the Personnel Committee author or move that this be presented favorably to the board for consideration and adoption?
We did.
Finance Committee did.
Finance Committee and
And
Personnel?
on both, I can
Okay.
attest that
Very good.
we did.
That's good. That's helpful for the record
Yeah.
and helpful for our new board members' benefit.
And Mr. Chair, I just noticed the resolution still has the original meeting date of November 12th for approval and adoption.
Same question about that, but my understanding is our clerk has prepared a corrected resolution, even though it's not in our packet per se. So you have that present for us to, if we act on it, we can sign it. Have you changed the contents of that resolution in any way other than the date?
Nope, just the date. And the resolution number stays the same, but the date on the resolution changed.
Okay. Well, thank you, staff, for the presentation and the explanation on this agenda item, and thank you both committees for your due diligence on this. Director Levy, do you have any questions of this agenda item for sharing with the rest of the board today?
I do not.
Okay. Do any other board members have any questions or comments they want to state?
What is with the semicolon NH on whereas establishment of a district-funded HRA? So I'm looking at the version that came off of the website with the corrected date, and I believe that that error has persisted through iterations. Yeah.
Could you repeat that? I didn't.
So
quite
at
hear
the
that.
towards the bottom of the first page of the resolution, there's a semicolon NH. I don't know what that was supposed to be. It could just be a finger slip. Yeah. Okay. Just very good. And the other question that I had regarding the resolution that was presented in the November 12th packet appears to have been corrected. So I have no further quibbles with the resolution as presented.
Okay, thank you, Director Stonebreaker. Appreciate that. You were looking at the electronic version, which the rest of us had hard print copies. Are there any other comments from the board on this? Hearing no further comments, we'll open this to the public. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this agenda item 5.1, employee benefits changes? Well, the silence is deafening this morning, I tell you. Okay, well, at this point in time, we'll bring it back to the board. What's the pleasure of the board? We need to entertain and consider an action item.
Mr. Chair, I motion to approve resolution number 25-11-1-554 with the edits included for approval.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion that's been made and seconded. Is there any further questions on the motions before we proceed and call for a vote? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Director Jolene Levy,
Aye.
Director Steve Rodwick,
Aye.
Secretary John Stonebreaker,
Aye.
and Chairperson Alma Green.
Aye.
Motion carries with 4 ayes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on, item 5.2, extension of employee pay dental and vision coverage. Staff, brief presentation, please.
Yeah, to simplify the previous questions, we thought we would separate this out. And frankly, this typically would be probably considered under consent because it does not require any additional district funds. The measure is basically to allow our part-time staff to be able to pay into their own expense into our vision and dental insurance programs. We think this is a good proposal for retention and just, allowing our employees to take a good benefit that is part of our available package for employees. So this is simply recommend authorized district to expand dental and vision coverage to permanent part-time employees after a 6-month probation period at their own cost. And just to clarify, we have several employees that continue through most of the year, if not all year round, be extended to those employees and not strictly seasonal employees. So that would be the distinction there, or some of them may be teaching a single class for us. So the idea is to help cover or provide this benefit to employees that are here kind of for the long haul for us. So we recommend that approval. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Director Essef. Quick question, just for the record again. Have both the Finance Committee and the Personnel Committee addressed this matter, and are they favorable that the board consider this today and act on it?
Correct. But I'll let the members speak for themselves.
So this was a recommendation from the Finance Committee at our October meeting.
And personnel, right? Okay. Again, I'm doing this for the benefit of our new director on the board. He's with us remotely. Has staff expressed support of this in any way?
Yeah. Yeah, we had an all staff meeting and we asked questions on what people would like to see, and there were multiple anonymous letters asking if they could pay out of their own pocket to be part of some of our benefits. So
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Does the board members have any further comments or questions on this agenda item?
I would just say thanks to staff for working so hard on all of this to provide better benefits to the employees at no additional cost to the taxpayer.
Comment well stated. Okay, at this point in time, I'm going to open it to the floor. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this agenda item? Hearing no one wishing to speak this morning, we'll bring it back to the board. I ask that for the pleasure of the board, let's consider an action item, please.
We move to authorize the district to expand dental and vision coverage to permanent part-time employees after the 6-month probation period at their own cost.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion that's been made and seconded to adopt this agenda item as recommended. Any further questions of this motion before we proceed to a vote from the board? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Director Jolene Levy,
Aye.
Director Steve Rodwick,
Aye.
Secretary John Stonebreaker, and Chairperson Alma Green.
Aye.
Motion carries with 4 ayes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item on the agenda is a closed session. The board is going to meet in closed session pursuant to California Government Code 54957.6, employee salary and wage negotiations. Okay, as chair, I now declare that we're back from closed session. We're back into open session. And relative to the closed session, the board met and conferred with employee representatives concerning salary and wage negotiations and gave formal direction to our administrative staff to proceed on that topic and bring that forward at our next regular meeting for open session. So moving on, we're on to item 7 in the regular board meeting, which is board comments. We'll start off with our new board member, Jolene Levy. Do you have any comments you want to share for the board and the audience this morning?
I do not.
Okay. Director Anderson's not here, but Director Roderick, do you have any board comments you want to share?
Yes, I got a couple. You can now mark your calendar for the grand reopening of the expanded Paradise Animal Shelter. It'll be on January 24th from 12 to 3. And if you haven't been to the animal shelter as of yet, it's a much improved location for our furry friends. And a second item, I was up at Paradise Lake yesterday, and it's probably gained 2 feet in the last couple of weeks. And so we were probably looking for another good boating, fishing, lake enjoying season for 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Director Roderick. John Stonebreaker, our director. Do you have any comments you want to share this morning?
So many things have gone on since our last regular meeting. I would say that I had a personal education in how valuable Feather River Hospital had been to our community and how much we have lost with its shuttering. Had some words to say to the supervisors in connection with the shuttering of Glen Medical Center, which will further exacerbate the shortage of healthcare capacity here in our county. I would say that I am now on the mend after a miserable experience in late October and early November that did somewhat impair my ability to get to all of the meetings that I normally would. I did have the opportunity to spend most of the day at the Good Fire Festival over on the Nova Park. It was attended by more than 100 people, and it was good to be able to interact with staff and with the community participants there. And then I was also able to attend the meeting here on Wednesday regarding the use of the Repanich property at Jordan Hill Road. Both of those, I was the only director present. And I think it's important for us to be present at these PRPD hosted events, both to interact with staff and to interact with the community participants and get a better understanding of how the district's activities operate in practice, rather than just sitting here in the ivory tower and leaving everything to staff. Very good to be out interacting with the community. The items that I missed, like I didn't get to go to the community Halloween like I had last year. It was very good in 24 when it was sunny, and I would have appreciated the opportunity to interact with the community in that way. So again, I support the work that our rec staff is doing, and appreciate the chance to get out there and experience it for myself.
Thank you, Director Stonebreaker. I have, since our last regular meeting, actually last special meeting, I should say, have done my due diligence with Butte LAFCO at their meeting. There wasn't much to report. It was a pretty light agenda, but other than that, did make an effort to try to get up here for some of the other PRPD activities that have taken place, particularly during the 7-year anniversary of the campfire. Unfortunately, I was out of the area. Could not get back here in time for that because I was attending on behalf of my duties on the state board for Park and Recs, a very special event down in the Sacramento area where Capri was celebrating its 40-year anniversary. And so I didn't make it back in time for that. But other than that, my other board comment, and I sincerely mean this, I want to thank everyone and wish you well, you and your loved ones, and have a prosperous and healthy holiday during this Thanksgiving break. No further comments at this point in time. We're going to declare the meeting hereby adjourned. Thank you, everyone.